Pleasant good evening, everyone. Just checking to make sure that I'm clear this evening. Everybody's hearing me clearly? All right. Well done. Okay, I'm going to make good evening, everyone. Just checking to make sure that I'm clear this evening. Everybody's hearing me clearly?
Uh-huh.
What was Number, is this the same you told me about, which is in line with the UN?
Yes, it is. It is in line with the UN.
All right. I'm just making available the links. I'll share the link for it, that you can share the link on your social media for YouTube. So just copy the link. I'll make the link available in the chat. And you could share that link on your Facebook and your social media for those who would want to be viewing it live on their social media platforms. You can share that link, please. All right. Well, we're going to ask this evening, I just want to introduce to you our management team in the class of SteelE. Pleasant good evening to everyone. In the person of Her Excellency Victoria Okedire, she is our COO in the class of SteelE. We also have Barrister, His Excellency Anthony Uwashia, and he is our treasurer and responsible for maintaining protocols within what we're doing in the class of SteelE. We have also Jenny Trehane, Her Excellency Jenny Trehane out of Barbados, and Jenny is responsible for our international consulting cabinet. We also have Mapenzi Olivier, Mr. Mapenzi Olivier. He is our financial person, and he is here seated with us today. And we have Dr. Anita Davis Defoe. And Dr. Anita Davis Defoe, she is responsible for, she's our chief lecturer in the class of SteelE. And not present as yet is His Excellency, I'm sorry, I just got a slight distraction. His Excellency Reverend Samuel Bright also. He's away on a family burial, but he, in his absence, is the person that is one of our founding partners in the class of SteelE. I want to welcome all of you this evening. Pleasant good evening, and you're very welcome. Your Excellency Victoria, if you would just open us in prayer and blessing, and then we will hand straight over to His Excellency Dr. Hillary, who is taking this evening's class. He will be going through what we will be doing, and we will be collaborating together. Your Excellency Victoria Okedire, please.
Once again, good evening, Your Excellency. Dr. Michael Steele, our Mayview mentor, and good evening, everybody that is in the class tonight. I believe the Lord is going to do us good tonight. Can we go to the Lord in prayers? Our Father and our God in heaven, we want to thank you so much for a time like this. Lord, we bless you because you are God. Father, we have come again to listen. We have come again to receive from you. We have come again to be refilled. Father, we ask for wisdom. We ask for knowledge. We ask for retentive memory. We ask for the power to recall all what we've been learned. Father, we ask for wisdom, even for our lecturer tonight. Father, we ask that everything that will be done tonight will be in accordance to your will and to your purpose. Thank you, mighty God, because you always have good things in stock for the class of SteelE. We are grateful. Have your way in our midst. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Amen.
Well, let us introduce you to one of our celebrations in the class of SteelE. Thank you so very much. Come on. This is how we do it virtually in the class of SteelE so that everyone knows that you're with us. So God bless you and thank you so very much. Without any further ado, I want to jump straight into introducing our honored guest this evening, our partner, our associate, our friend, and my personal mentor. None other than the person of His Excellency, Dr. Hilary Imar. Dr. Hilary, you are welcome, sir.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once more, Your Excellency, Dr. SteelE, for the opportunity to be here. I see that you're really doing a lot. You're doing great. I'm seeing a lot of new improvements every day in the class of SteelE, and I want to say I'm really proud of what you're doing. So keep going on. Keeping with what you're doing. Thank you very much.
This evening, we are positioning ourselves to allow the world to see where we are going as a class of SteelE. The class of SteelE was started out of a need. During the COVID period, we found that a lot of ministers, I am a bishop and a traveling minister, and we found that a lot of ministers were not able to engage. They were not able to get together. And as a result of that, myself being involved in computers for a lot of years, I decided to take the initiative to embark on establishing a class of leaders, the class of SteelE. And in the founding members for the class of SteelE, it was pioneered out of Plateau State in Nigeria, where the majority of our members were formed from. And I want to confirm that we maintained a positive outlook. We maintained diligence, commitment, steadfastness, and it got to a place where we became a family, and it has grown. We've become a culture. I think one of the things that in the class of SteelE we celebrate is excellence. We celebrate excellence in preparation, excellence in making sure that if we are going to do anything, we want to do it at a level where others would look and say, wow, I like how they operate. The first stages of our training and our teaching were very challenging. How many of you know that technology gives a challenge when everybody's busy just doing the normal mundane works, but technology proved to be very challenging. As a matter of fact, I remember days when meetings like this, I would not have been able to get 5 words in without having individuals asking, please, how do you turn on your mic? How do you? And it would be chaos. But I want to celebrate today that we remain faithful, we remain resolute, we remain committed, and all of us in the class of SteelE in the management, we perfected the skills that we think it will take to get to the next level in this era of communication that is facing us as nations. With that being said, I equally want to celebrate all of the dignitaries and leaders that are in the class of SteelE. The class of SteelE is made up of individual leaders that are from the highest areas in society. As a matter of fact, we have kings in the class of SteelE. We have presidents. We have individuals who are extremely high net worth. And you can see for yourself that we take the class of SteelE very seriously. I believe that as I've been going to a lot of international meetings, and when I see individuals not showing their cameras and not being dressed professionally for meetings, it disgusts me. It overwhelms me. There are many reasons why that is, which are understandable. However, I think if we're going to set a platform and we're going to set a principle, we need to be in a place where we have foundational principles that we stand by. As a leader, I stand by etiquette, how you dress, how you carry yourself. And if you're showing up for a meeting, you must be present. Present meaning your camera is on so we know who we're speaking to and we can contact with you. The virtual world creates an environment where meetings and collaborations and gatherings are just the same. The beautiful thing is that today we have individuals from so many different countries represented. We have Nigeria, we have Barbados, we have Canada, we have Ghana, we have Uganda, and we have so many. We have the United Kingdom, the United States of America, we have France, and so many different countries are represented, all on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As a result of that, I think our excellence has drawn the attention of many great teachers. And I was so pleased to have the opportunity to be engaged by His Excellency Dr. Hilary Emma under the invitation of Baroness Marriott Ram, who introduced us together that we might be able to help each other, build each other. How many of you agree with me that iron sharpens iron? If you want to be better, then partner with those who are doing better and raise your level. As a result of that, this evening is a landmark evening for all of us. It is a testimony to when COVID has caused so many to struggle and suffer and shut down. The Class of SteelE is one of those organizations that expanded and grew and birthed vision and gathered families and friends and communities and associates. I'm very pleased today to celebrate our opportunity to be partnering with Leaders Without Borders Development Center. Come on, let's just celebrate them. Leaders Without Borders Development Center, I will not speak for them, but I will allow them to speak for themselves. With that, I will introduce His Excellency again, Dr. Hilary Emma, who will be partnering and going through back and forth with this class today with us. Your Excellency, Dr. Hilary.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. SteelE. I think this will be the second time I'll be speaking on the Class of SteelE, but I'm not speaking today. The floor is meant for someone higher in terms of a coach. When you talk about a coach that's well recognized globally, he will be taking the stage today. So what I will just be doing, I will just be talking about our partnership with the Class of SteelE. First of all, let me tell you about a little bit about the event for May 20th and 21st. The Leaders Without Borders will be hosting its annual business summit with the theme Business Beyond Borders, building a strategic network for building a global network for strategic partnership. So this platform, we're going to have panel sections, we'll have leadership speakers, professional speakers, 2 days straight panel sections as speakers. There will be networking opportunity for entrepreneurs, for CEOs, family business owners to network globally. The whole idea is for us to, create an opportunity where there will be cross-border business relationship. In the world we live in, it's like you always say, it's better you see who you're dealing with. So when you meet a particular person in a forum such as this, you have a bit of confidence that you're dealing with a real asset, with a real person. So the idea is to create these networking opportunities for CEOs to connect and do business across border you know how difficult it is for you to do business with someone who is in another country. So we create this opportunity for businesses to network and meet. And also, the Leaders Without Borders Development Center, as you know, it's a training center. What we do basically is to train CEOs, we train young business owners, we train startups, we train entrepreneurs in ways to build up their business. We try as much as possible to see how we can connect them with the right resources, the right professionals who can also build up their businesses. So it's a whole lot going on with the Leaders Without Borders. So the essence of the partnership with the class of SteelE is to see how we can also contribute to what His Excellency Dr. SteelE is doing by providing this kind of opportunity for people who are looking to connect with global businesses. So we believe that the class of SteelE having the presence at the annual business summit will give a lot of people the opportunity for them to grow their businesses and also connect with other businesses. So I want to officially invite everyone here and everybody that's listening, across the world, to be in Dubai for May 20th and 21st. And also, I tell you, it's going to be one of the biggest gatherings in the world. Today, I've brought in our special guest speaker. This is someone I hold to a high level of respect. This is someone I can't just take him, to speak anywhere because of this level of his worth. Someone that is recognized globally, someone that has been described as the Da Vinci of visionary leadership. If you get that kind of description, I don't think you need any other verification. I want to quickly just run through. Let me introduce him first of all, then I will run through his profile just a bit. His name is Dr. Oleg Konovalov. Dr. Oleg, please, just a small wave so that people could know.
Yes. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. For me, it's almost midnight, so I've lost a bit where everyone now.
Thank you. He had a very long day today because he's been having a series of meetings, high-level meetings. But I told him, I said, you know how important you are to me, and the meeting we're going to have this evening is also very important to my friend. So I said, please, you have to come on board no matter what, how late. It's actually 11 p.m. where he is. Am I right, Dr. Oli?
Yeah, 11:30 or so. Yeah, that's fine.
So you can imagine. So I want to just run through his profile. Dr. Ole is a thought leader. He's also an author of several books, and I know he's going to be talking about one of his books, which is one of my favorites. He's going to be talking. I will let him talk about that when the time comes. He's also a business educator. He's a consultant. He's a Forbes contributor. He's a coach with over 25 years of experience. And also he has been consulting for the Fortune 500 companies both in the UK and internationally. So I want to leave the stage for Dr. Ole. I know he's tired. I want to leave the stage for him to take over from here. Thank you, Dr. Ole.
Thank you, Dr. Hillary, and thanks everyone. Right. Probably the easiest introduction for me would be very simple. I'm not a problem solver, I'm a solution finder. Actually, my books come out as a result of me finding some kind of a grand problems, therefore I'm looking for grand solutions. I have a simple question to everyone. How important vision is for your life and for your business? How much you will give for it? Can anyone answer this question? Anyone would take a risk?
Yeah, come again, please.
How important is the vision for your personal life and your business?
It's all about your core values of your business.
No. Core values is how we see relationships with others, and this is a verb of action, of course. But
Yeah.
vision is a multi-dimensional space in the future that we're creating for others. And therefore, it makes our life meaningful and our business meaningful. How much you will give for it? You see, the problem is what I have found that less than 0.1% of modern leaders have actual vision. We have a huge difficulty. We have leaders that leading people nowhere. It's a time of leadership blindness. And therefore, what we're just talking with Dr. Hillary, it's about to help leaders define that vision, create it, and make it meaningful. You know, their businesses, their lives, and that means everything. Because the greatness of your vision defines the greatness of your success. What's interesting, you know, life is not a place we live, it's a path we take. And therefore, it's logical. It's not about how many problems we solve daily. It's about how many solutions we have found that would make people's life different. And that is quite critical. I was thinking about 3 simple questions for a number of years myself. You know, what is the meaning of what I do? What I do for the future, and who am I and where I want to be? Seemingly simple questions, but it led me to think about many other things. You know, I was brought up in a very cold place. It's in Arctic Circle of northern part of Russia. Believe me, it's not the funniest place in the world. It's quite stormy, quite snowy, quite cold. And to go through the different things, you have only one core thing in your life, your vision. And yes, I'm lucky enough to be in one room with global visionaries, and I could chat with them to see how they think, how they act. And that allowed me to turn vision into a practical business tool. And so it allows me to train people, to coach people, to consult people of different levels. And that's amazing what these people can achieve. So it's not about talking, let's set a ground. What's the difference between vision, goal, and a statement or mission statement? Goal is something with a clear end. Okay, I want to lose 3 kilos of weight within 2 months, and okay, it's done, fixed, solved. What else? That's it. Forget about it. Carry on. Mission statement. Something we rarely read. It's written somewhere on a wall, like a nice deco. Even if people working on a factory floor, they hardly see those statements. In fact, mission statement is what kind of social impact we'll have on a society on a way to achieving our vision. Vision is our aspiration for the future that we strive to make a reality today. And this is a huge multidimensional space in the future. This is a little planet that we create for others, not for ourselves. And here is another distinction. I have clients which initially asking, oh, we want to create $1 billion company. I say, okay, cool. But what's this in your vision for me? You want to be a billionaire, I'm not. Okay? Why I should commit myself to your personal goal? This is your personal ambitions. It's nothing for me. Vision is for people. Vision is about people. It's like in personal life. If you don't see your spouse in that prosperous future, why have got married initially? It's a pure social exchange. I bring salary, you do my cooking. It's unfair. Therefore, there are millions of unhappy families. And so there are millions of meaningless businesses which are suffering. What happens? COVID showed us that we can't break out from negativity without having a clear vision where we lead people at all levels. Political, business, non-profit, social initiatives. We must have clear vision what we do. And not for today, not for tomorrow, but for years ahead. Really be focused on this. It's not a funny word. You know, it's something important. Why it is important? Because vision is greater than ourselves. It's greater than any organization. And Benzi, you mentioned its values. Values, we could change them. For instance, within a year or two, we achieved a certain mindset and we could reflect or skip to the next values because those already imprinted into our behavior, into the back of our mind. But vision is something with still magneted to it. It's a huge magnet. It's a huge force. You know, even working on this project, talking with different visionaries, USA, UK, Canada, Nigeria, Arab Emirates, Russia, India, chatting with these people, learning how they think. And I had a conversation with Marshall Goldsmith. He's #1 global leading coach, or leadership coach. And he said, okay, how's the work? He was part of the book, or he's part of the book, and so he's quite involved in it. And I said, look, Marshall, this book or this project impacted me more than everything else I have done in my life. So it's not just words on a paper. The same about vision. It's not how beautiful vision you can create. It's about how this vision will impact others and so you. How it will change you. How it would make you stronger, more influential, more inspiring. By the way, when we talk about, we often hear on different conferences, motivation. You know, I'll pay nothing for motivation. Zero. Motivation is a short push. I'll pay everything for inspiration. Because inspiration will get you up in the morning. It will inspire others around you. It's like a huge blast on a whole society, on people, on thousands of people around you. That's a huge difference. Leaders must be inspirational, not just motivational. You know, and that is something very interesting. I came up with a practical tool which I called caviar. I have a fishing industry background, so it's not about this, it's about how delicious it is. And first C in caviar stands for clarity of creation. Here's a very interesting moment. How vision comes. Is it a gift? Is it a blessing? Or is it something else? And you know what? Vision comes when your conscious awareness of a problem you want to solve for the benefit of others reaches its peak. The gift or blessing is only in your hard thinking and focused thinking about others and their needs and what kind of solution you can find for them. That is a gift. To be really hard working, hard thinking, or focused thinking, to be correct. It won't come overnight. It will take time, but it's a certain process. You could make it fairly compact. Within a few months, you could create it and make it really powerful. In caviar, the first A stands for ability. As I mentioned, Vision is bigger than you or me. So you must be able to manage it effectively and so execute it effectively. And therefore you must develop your courageous thinking. You must develop your learning abilities, because you, first of all, we were all taught to learn from books. Well, books are important. I'm reading a ton. But mainly we should learn from people. We should listen to them. I know many CEOs, and I'm often asking them, when have you talked to your customers or to your employees informally last time? And they're turning blank. And that is different. They're not listening. They're not learning. Inner excellence is critical, because if you would stop growing inside you mentally, psychologically, your vision would stop growing. Confidence. It's still about ability. Confidence. You know, we paying too much attention to the self-confidence, which can be very tricky. But in practical terms, confidence, it's about how I deliver my promises to other people. Therefore, you should ask yourself weekly, what promises, my promises, left undelivered? That's very simple, but very powerful, believe me. And so there are a number of questions, but that's just an essence. And of course, it's about knowledge bank, because you can't be a visionary on your own. You must create a team of visionaries around you. And that is important, because you must get all people together and ask them or inspire them to contribute to that vision, their knowledge, their effort, their commitment. V stands for viability. You know, vision is not illusion. Is very pragmatic, is very practical, is very functional. Therefore, you're inviting people, they see it. And this is an incredibly beautiful thought construct. And it stands on 6 criteria. Stimulus, because you act for people, you act with people, and you act for their needs. If those elements are there, they will respond to it. Otherwise, they will leave it. It's about scale. How to achieve scale? Keep adding value all the time, and it will grow. It's about spotlight, because whose skin is in a game? If you're not putting your skin, why I should trust you? Leader is being on the spotlight, like on a Broadway, for 24/7, because vision impacts people now and tomorrow and day after. By the way, you know, we love talking about strategic plans, which is great, but think for a moment, if we're creating a strategic plan for 20 years, within 10 years, none of the guys who were creating this plan would be working in that company. He would either retire or he would change the job. So no responsibility. And therefore, no one in a company, however large it is, would hardly remember how it came initially. But vision is how we will impact the next generation. And therefore, everyone in a company feel responsible to achieve that vision and pass vision as a legacy to the next generation. The same in a family, the same in the country or on a country level. It's about scanning. Vision is important to be grounded to people's needs, to the changes of what happens in the world. And we're living in the time of the fastest changes the humanity ever faced. So you still need to be relevant to those changes. What's going on? What's happened? We're panicking about pandemic. Guys, every generation in one way or another faced different those challenges, wars, pandemics, economical disasters. So it's about being grounded and what we could get out of it. That allows to see more opportunities and exploring more. Very interesting. When you really scanning what is going on around, you would clearly understand that when you have a clear vision, you need less resources. When you don't know where you go, you need a lot of resources. You're trying to grab everything around you. So eventually your hands full with crap, with things which you don't need. You know, I'm very keen salmon fisherman. And when you go in Arctic for salmon, you need to walk maybe 10, 15, 20 kilometers in the wilds with your backpack. When you experience it, your backpack is very light because you're taking only the essence. But when you just only learning about it, I remember those days myself. Heck, you're dying under it because it's too heavy. Good job, I used to be in weightlifting, but it's still a stupid thing. Vision. You know, vision stands on simplicity. Because vision is an elegant thinking about complicated things. If it's complicated, people wouldn't buy it. They need simple, understandable, that would hit immediately. What I'm saying, a simple test for this is, if you speak your vision to your employees, can they speak the same meaning to somebody else without losing its meaning? It's also related to communication, of course, but that's an essence of simplicity. Simple. I understand what you do and I'm happy about this. You don't need to talk much. Simple. And of course, it's about passion, excitement and passion, because vision is a huge emotion itself. When you have vision, real vision, you can't sleep. Your thoughts wake you up. You're like a lunatic. You're really excited. You're happy. And you're sharing this passion. You're making others the multipliers of your passion. And that gives you heart to your vision. It makes it really human. You know, that's a quite interesting process. And so to move further, I stands for influence, because it's not just only about how you communicate or share a vision, which is very important. It's about how do you make others the co-owners of that vision, and therefore they're committing themselves, they're putting their effort, talent, knowledge into your vision to achieve it. A stands for acting, and here comes a very tricky thing. We are paying too much attention to consensus. We betting on consensus. You know, I need consensus when I don't know where I go. If I am a leader, I promise you that I would lead you into the future. Therefore, I don't need consensus. I already have direction. And I took that responsibility. And this is, of course, about focus. It's about maintaining a strong will in your team. It's about enabling decision-making. It's about strong culture. And it's about strong communication within a team. If we look even from the point of view of corporate culture, actually one of the best in the world on corporate culture. Last year was #1, this year I'm #2. I will tell you, culture is productive interaction of people wrapped into a shared vision, beside of being an inner energy of the organization. So we're moving to the last phase, which is called revision, revitalizing, because we achieved a certain level of success. We could see more opportunities, and so we must revise vision. you probably know or might heard, it's a huge charity. It's number 7 in the world. It's called Junior Achievement. They're helping 11 million young guys to gain their first profession. 350,000 volunteers working for them. And they have a simple approach. They're revising their vision every 3 years. And they're asking all the employees and important stakeholders to contribute to that process. So you must revise it all the time because it grows, it must be reshaped, the core is there, and keep it strong. If you will ignore this stage, you will fail into a comfort zone. What's the problem with comfort zone? In a comfort zone, your ego would grow enormously quick and huge. We all have ego, we are humans, but it's a matter to what extent you keep it under control. Ego kills vision instantly. Because you don't see people, you don't see the world around you, you see only yourself. And so your vision will die. Many huge companies are buried in the history because of this. So what we're trying to do with Dr. Hillary, we're trying to make it across global leaders, political leaders, corporate leaders, to make it very meaningful. You know, having a vision is like putting your signature on the future being here now. So I invite you to put your signature on the future. Thank you.
Come on, I think that was a celebratory moment. Come on, Your Excellency, Dr. Hillary, thank you so very much for allowing us the privilege of your honored guests. And I'm going to ask Her Excellency Victoria as our COO to convey thanks to him for being with us, but also thanks to him for his sharing this evening with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
But
sir.
if you have questions, please ask.
I was going to say that. I mean, Your Excellency, you didn't allow people might have questions. Let them ask.
Then in so doing, yes, of course, I open the floor for questions. There are reactions on the side, and you could just push on the reaction and just touch your hand if you have a question, and we will take questions. That's acceptable, Your Excellency. Are there any questions or comments?
Okay. Can I?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr.
That's
Oleg.
fine. Yeah, thank you.
For your very good high-level summary of just a little thing of your knowledge, which I really appreciate. If you are very, very experienced person, and I wanted just to know if during your career, and if there's a way or a time that you failed in somewhere, and what did you do to cover that gap where you failed? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So far, you see, I'm the first one who explored the nature of vision. It's never been done before. And I've been through all that ups and downs. So so I could say it was gifted to me. It was gifted to me. But through the challenges. And I had a very tough experience in my life. And I sat down and I was thinking in that moment, and I was just like, ooh, horrible. And something strikes me. What is greater, my problems or my goals? When you're losing your vision, or when you're losing an alignment with your vision, always think, what is my highest purpose? Why initially I'm thinking about that vision and how far I'm from it. When you have, well, we could call ourselves, all of us, the kings of the problem solving, because problems like midges around us, they're sucking blood from us and they're blinding us from seeing that future. And here, when you have vision, you ignore them. You go forward through those challenges. So at that moment, when you see, I have lost something, keep back on track. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for that. We have a question from Baroness Maria Ram. Could you kindly answer your question, please?
Yeah.
Hi, good evening to you all.
Hello.
Hi, Oleg. Hi. It's the first
Hi.
time I've seen you in live action.
All right. Thank you.
And really appreciate it. A couple of thoughts that really sprung to my mind as you were talking.
Okay.
You mentioned about ego, which is obviously
it's the greatest killer of vision.
Yeah, but when it comes to really vision, could it lead to distraction? Just without actually emphasizing on the ego. And I was also thinking about that, when a vision is basically, you have a visionary reader, and there's a team that's built around, you mentioned the team as well. What's the best possible way to actually to transmit this vision? And you mentioned about motivation, you mentioned about inspiration.
There is a certain algorithm how you would share. Plus, as I mentioned, you engaging people in that knowledge bank. So when you communicate vision, I was thinking, why do we use a term communicating vision? And we also use sharing vision. And people take it as something very similar. And I've been looking particularly at that difference. And what I have found, we communicate facts, but we share emotions and stories. And here comes very interesting point. We all love listening to nice stories or fancy stories, but what we love more, we want to be part of that story.
That's something that makes us feel and move and really be part of it.
And there must be communication and sharing must be weaved together. But it stands also on a language which we create. I would give you a simple example. English dictionary is growing by about 1,000 words every year. How comes we're getting 1,000 of new words every year? Those words comes from visionaries. We are Zooming now, right? We are Googling. So it's about, think from words that are disappear or almost disappear.
Oleg, sorry to interrupt. There is a new word that I came across today. It's absolutely extraordinary that you mentioned this. You know what DEX is? Or DEX is? It's keep reading DEXs. And I was kind of thinking, what the hell is this? Decentralized exchanges in terms of cryptocurrency, and it's just so widely used. But if you're not really familiar with the term DEX, it's like, what is this DEX? I mean,
Here we talk about words which are clearly understood by all people around, not just those specific professional words, and which can be quite funny. but,
yes.
But think for a moment. Nelson Mandela, his aim was not to create a new world, but his aim was to eradicate a word apartheid. And believe me, many young people already don't know about this. They're not aware of this world. So the job is done, or almost done, right? So when you communicate a vision to your team, you must engage all those things. And as I mentioned, there's a certain algorithm behind it. When you talk about distraction, back to your initial question, we're all humans, we all have ego. That's fine. But it's a matter what size of the ego. We all need to make money, to have food, to grow, whatever, to keep living. Yeah, that's normal. We all want better cars. That's fine. Otherwise, we wouldn't be, progressing as people. It's about clearly understanding what is greater, my ego or what I do for others. One of the questions when I'm testing that first phase, creation of clarity of creation, is one of the questions is what is in this vision for other people? If they see real value, that's fine. If they just made up value, it's not a vision. Actually, I have a simple test. Before I even start talking to people about vision, coaching or consulting, I'm always asking them a simple question. Do you believe in anything? And somebody says, okay, Jesus, Allah, or Buddha, universe, doesn't matter. As soon as somebody is believing in something greater than himself, that's fine. People who are purely egocentric, you can't help them with vision because they don't see the world. They don't see themselves as being a little part, important part, but of a huge open world. They believe they are the center of universe. You can't help these people. I wouldn't take time for this. Okay, Mariette, is it what are you asking me about?
Sorry, Oleg, sorry, I just had to unmute myself again. Absolutely, thank you. I would love to pick your brain for hours and hours and hours on end. So thank you.
You could pick up a book. It's easy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much.
The vision code actually it's really fascinating, and people from it's endorsed from World Economic Forum, from Foreign Direct Investments Magazine, Inc., and Fast Company magazines, from top experts in the world. It's been tested. Malaysia, Brazil, USA, Canada, South Africa, Switzerland, UK, Russia, Arab Emirates, and it works.
I have a question, if I may ask. Very, very interesting. First, I want to celebrate your presentation this evening. And the question that I have to ask is, how do you manage diversity in a culture of so many different ideologies, so many different ways and routes, but yet the translating of those ways and routes are all wrapped up in diversity and understanding? How do you, as a global speaker, manage diversity in your presentation?
I don't see a difference in color. I don't see a difference in gender. Vision doesn't have gender. It doesn't have race. It doesn't have nationality. It doesn't have level of education. Vision is independent because it's life defining. I need people of different or coming from different approaches of this life. I need them to add value, and my job or my role is to add value to them. Therefore, for me, is no difference. We're adding value. For instance, if we talk about diversity, men and women, I even have a presentation on TEDx, and I was talking about a simple approach. Men about building a house. Women about making a house a home. So we're adding value in a bit different manner. Okay. I love long distance driving. You know, just I've been driving from very, very north of Russia to Britain for about 40 times. You know, it's a long journey, but I love it. It's half of Europe, and you know, particularly in winter, you're a bit slower, but okay. And if my wife travels with me, I'm not allowing her to drive because it's quite risky on the north. But she is good talking to me. She's holding coffee. She adds value and pleasures to that. It's nothing to be man and woman. It's about what we do for each other, right? We're looking for diversity when we don't know how to articulate that value. If I know clearly, okay, Victoria could bring that. Brilliant. I appreciate this. Or Hillary will bring that. Thank you. What's the point of diversity? You know, for instance, in my book, I have women. Dr. Babalola from Nigeria. Amit Kapoor, he is a chairman for the Institute for Competitiveness of India. You know, we're both smokers, and we're standing, you know, just like old days smoking. And I said, "Did you ever been to India?" I said, "Look, no." Are you ignoring 20% of the world population? I said, "I will be with you next year." It's about how we see each other. That was about back to values. Values, how we see relationships with others. And it's a verb of action. The simplest form of care is caring. In this sense, I'm not bothered about anything unless these people do something valuable. And I'll tell you, lazy people are everywhere. Idiots are everywhere. Beggars are everywhere. Useless people are everywhere. I can't help them. I help successful people to become more successful. And in this sense, there is no difference for me. It's a matter how they think. That's it.
I want to confirm that that's the right place for you here in the class of SteelE, and I think we celebrate Dr. Hillary for his observation. I want to, if you would allow me to introduce our chief. Chief, do you have any questions on today's message, what was shared? Big up Chief, Healing Water. You're very welcome to the class of SteelE, my friend, and just greet us and share what thoughts you would have or any questions.
Well, for one, I'd like to say peace and love and respect to your presence, Your Excellency. Second, you are galactic, and most people are not in that essence of knowledge of the realms of to know that you don't touch fire or you're going to get burned. Yes, in this world, you said a few key things that more people are starting to wake up to, which are great because at one point in time, dirt, a truck, seeds, sunlight and water was money. Now, the middleman is all of those things, the money. And in that reality, when you can really get a mass of people to go back to the essence of that, then that vision will become a solid one. But when you have so many different advertisements, if you will, to kind of cause, I like to call it the nuclear distraction.
Chief, it's about purity of mind.
Yes.
Because if your mind is pure and focused, not distracted with the dodgy things, you could make it.
But again, when you wake up, and you're perfectly correct, because with the purity of mind, you can have peace with oneself. Once you have peace with oneself, you're not distracted of learning. Once you're not distracted of learning, the more you know, the more you grow.
And the thing is, I have traveled a lot in my life, but when you realize that you hold the whole universe inside you, you don't need to travel.
Yes.
Yeah, you're still obliged to travel, but it's a very different story, you know.
But you're already traveling.
Yes, you're exploring it. It's phenomenal.
Yes, you're awesome. You're awesome. Thank you. Love to talk to you more. I don't want to waste everybody's time. Yeah, I mean, peace and love.
Thank you so very much, Chief. Come on, let's celebrate the Chief this evening. That's my friend, the Chief. I want to ask His Excellency, and we have a barrister in the house, one of our persons responsible for the legal structure within the class of SteelE, and I run everything through him. Your Excellency, Anthony Uesha, any questions or comments on today's presentation by our brother and our newfound friend, Mr. Oleg? Any questions or comments?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We are eternally grateful to Dr. Oleg for that sound teaching on vision. It is very paramount and for us to actually have vision. And we have really been impacted so much from this teaching. I used to think I know much about vision until tonight, and I've discovered I really know little about vision. And I want to thank God for you.
The main thing you've been thinking about it, and that is very critical. That is very critical.
Wow.
Because that means you're courageous enough to think beyond yesterday. You know, Anthony, we have a huge problem, which I call mind lock. You know, when we travel across continents, when flying from Moscow to San Diego, 11 hours time difference, but I need 11 days to recover if I have them. Okay, but we have a mind lock. We're thinking too much about the past, very little about the present, and almost nothing about the future. We're all afraid of the future. And if you've been thinking about your vision in the right way or wrong way, it doesn't matter. You already have enough courage to create your future. Bravo.
Thank you so much. I equally, because I want to believe that vision is seeing your tomorrow from today, and I'm working towards articulating your values. I would like to equally ask from your teaching, you said something about vision has to do with simplicity.
Yes.
I want to find out, does it really have to do with simplicity, or does it have to do with when you want to communicate vision, then it becomes simple, You don't have to make it complicated. You don't have to make it complex. But does it have to do with the vision itself or the communicating of the vision?
Both. Because if it's complicated, you will have difficulty communicating it. It's initially, it must be very easy construct, easy to understand, you know, and then you could communicate it in an easy way. You could spread it around in an easy way. Without people could talk through, you know, it could change hands and hands and hands without losing its meaning, its value. So I'll give you a simple example. There is a guy, he's named David Katz. He is from Vancouver, from Canada. He is created a social enterprise he called Plastic Bank. He was thinking for quite a number of years how to turn a plastic waste, which floats in the ocean, into something valuable. And he found it. He turned plastic waste into a currency. People, poor people who live on the coasts of the different seas and oceans, they're collecting it, giving it to him. He pays them $1 per kilo of plastic in the electronic means for food, shelter, schooling. For instance, in Guyana, he helped all people who worked for him went from a low class to a middle class in a good way. So he cleans ocean, makes money for people and for himself, and he then recycles this plastic waste and sells it to the big guys like Johnson & Johnson, IBM, you know, all these big guys. Elegant idea, but it takes a bit of time. How simple is that? Very simple. Can you communicate such idea across the globe? Yes, and it grows now. Simple. If I wouldn't be talking about vision in that structured way, caviar, simple, would you be buying it? No.
Dr. Oleg, I think I celebrate with all of us your way of presenting the dynamics and the scenarios for us that make it clear to understand the value of simplicity. I think that's also
Elegant
very
thinking.
important.
Yes. And this is something, again, which people could gain. When you have clear idea what you want, you could communicate it in a simple way.
Well, I want to ask if I can ask Olukoya. Olukoya, join us this evening in the discussion. Share your thoughts and any questions that you have for Dr. Oleg this evening. Your Excellency Olukoya.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And thank you very much, Dr. Oleg. You presented the topic in a very simple and very clear manner. And, you know, while you were talking, of course, there are many things that struck my heart. But, you know, saying that vision does not have gender, does not have color, is very profound. And if we can understand this aspect, I think it will correct a lot of things that many people are getting very wrong. If we can get this, I mean, this thing just hit me, you know, the moment you mentioned it. And I mean, I'm going to spend time to meditate truly on this, because there is a lot of unlearning that one will need to do from tonight. So I really appreciate that. And still this question of simplicity, you know, how can we make our vision to be as
Okay,
simple as possible? Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
thank you very much, and thank you for your question. Uh, Again, it's something to be trained, but I'll give you a tip, a simple idea. If you can structure it in a lesser number of elements, you could easily to communicate it, and they should be interlinked. Then you could present it. Uh, think of a simple fact. If you meet somebody who is a really, really bright, have you ever noticed that these people could impact you in a matter of a minute or even less with a simple message, right? Because it's simple, but yet even that 1 minute of their talk, a few sentences, are fairly well structured. For instance, they will be meeting you and saying, okay, your problem is this, as can be solved that way, do it now. That's to make it simple, think of its structure. It's just a simple tip now.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Another example, for instance, if you just, my apologies, Dr. Michael.
You're okay. It's fine.
Yeah, if you have a chance, for instance, to meet somebody, even you never been dreaming about to meet, but you finally getting a chance to meet this person, and you would be asked, you have 40 seconds to talk to this person, or 1 minute or 2 minutes. How you would be defining your message to this person? You will try to make it simple. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I want to pull on the wisdom. We have some interesting individuals in the class of SteelE, and I'm going to pull on them for their comments and their question. I want to ask our chief lecturer and teacher, Dr. Anita Davis Defoe. Dr. Defoe, could you unmute yourself and just share your insight on today's class, and are there any thoughts that you have that you would like to share with us, and add value to what we're receiving, which is such good food today? Dr. Anita Davis Defoe.
Well, good evening to the class of SteelE and to the doctor. Greetings to you. What a powerful presentation you gave, and a deep teaching. And as the barrister said, as much as I think I know, I gained great wisdom and some deeper thought. You gave some powerful insights about just how significant vision is, how ego can derail vision, how it also impacts culture. And by a leader expressing that vision and sharing it with the team, that becomes very powerful for an organization, not just for today, but for tomorrow. And I love the fact that you say that visionary transformative leaders have to also be inspiration day. What is it going to be like for the future? And too often the mindset is so limited and not thinking about growth and not adding value to people and making them embrace the vision, that it in essence derails the organization. So I gained much from your presentation, and like many of the others in the class, would love to sit and chat more, but it was tremendously powerful, and I'm grateful, and I thank you, because I think it added value to us all this evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Defoe. And I want to pick up something very important that you mentioned, wisdom. We all sat or taught to be smart. We're all good at solving buzzwords. But vision, it's about being wise. Here we need wisdom. We need to have broad outlook. We need to learn from people. We must connect seemingly disconnected things. And this is about being wise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I hope you're okay, Dr. Oleg, at this hour with us pulling on you, because we have you now, and we're appreciating the food you're feeding us. So I hope it's okay for us to carry on a bit more with some more questions for you, with your permission and with the permission of Dr. Hillary. Is it okay, Dr. Hillary, to continue? Thank you. Thank you so very much. I don't want to sit and not allow those who are here not to have an opportunity to air their thoughts. I want to call on one of my mentors as well, and my good friends and brothers, Brother Emmanuel. Emmanuel, are there any thoughts that you have this evening? Being a leader, and you manage a great host. So what are your thoughts this evening, Emmanuel, pertaining to Dr. Oleg's message?
Wherever this man is from.
Oh, thanks, Dr. Steele, for your invitation. And thanks, Dr. Oleg. You guys, you have to excuse me. I've been having issues with my voice because of hiccups for 2 days. So this is not my voice. I know I'm sounding weird, but that's okay. Yes. You know, when you have an organization, or when you start a company, what I know is that one of the hardest things to come up with is your vision. Yes. And mission actually of the company. They're extremely hard, and people take them simple, but they can sell your company or they can take you down. Really, they're extremely, extremely important. And as the speaker actually said, the vision, usually it has to be timeless. Right? It has to be timeless. So even if you change your strategy of the business, what I have learned is it's likely not to change your vision. So usually, how do you do it? You start with your mission, come up with a company mission. Basically, if you want to be successful.
Emmanuel, I will give you a simple example.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
It might sound strange, but we talk about quantum leadership. In fact, what happens? We hardly could define what the present mean. What does it mean? Present. What kind of a dimensions the present has? And so, if we talk about vision, which is that multidimensional space in the future, we need strategy to connect the present and the future. So, the present and that vision. And the problem with majority of companies that they're not understanding that those things are already connected. Because if you're thinking about the future, you're already living there. And the strategy is only a roadmap how to get there in the most effective way, where often they're spending a ton of money on creating strategy which leads nowhere. It's a bridge which is only on one side of the river. And that's a big problem. Yes, creating a vision, not a statement, but real vision, it's quite a serious work. It demands time, it demands effort, it demands knowledge, competence. So what I call, it's not even me, but it's my clients and my participants of my course, they're saying it's called Rolls-Royce in leadership. It's not as easy, but if you have it, you will win. That's for sure. Then strategy will
Yes, exactly.
will fall it into it just like sharp construct, and yeah, people will be really, really attached to it in a good way. You will make it really great.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, sir. Yes,
I
yes. So
will give
vision
you.
statements, they
Uh,
always definitely differ.
oh, it's
Go
very,
ahead.
very different. I'll give you a simple example. I'm in conversation with former professional athletes in the US. Big guys. You could imagine. They made millions of money and they retire from a professional sport. You know that more than 50% of professional athletes losing their wealth in the first few years. The thing is, they were trained and mentally set to do hard work, but under the guidance of their, sport coach. But as soon as they left the sport, they don't know what to do, what to create, how to handle money. They're listening to the strategies of their dodgy financial advisors. People losing such a money like $250 million, $100 million, tremendous amount of money. Just like that. They don't have a vision. Now we're in conversation with these guys how to
Correct.
help those guys. Because strategy is good when you know where you go.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So I guess the most important thing in formulating a vision, or finding a purpose or the vision of your company, one of the things to find the human value in your work, right? You find the human value in your work because business is about humans, right? You have to then uncover the real human value in that mission cause. Basically, how does your organization improve people's lives, and how do you make the world a better place? So if you have that part, you're almost there.
Yeah.
Then you have to distill into values as well.
Yes. To some extent, yes. Fairly good. Yeah. Thank you, Emmanuel.
All right, so thank you so much. I thank you. Thanks to Dr. Steele as well.
You're most welcome, Emmanuel. Thank you for your contribution. I want to acknowledge the person of Jean Bosco. Jean, good evening. You're very welcome into the class of SteelE and our discussion. And do you have any questions or comments for Dr. Oleg? I'd be grateful for you to unmute and just make your presence be felt, Jean. Jean, are you there with us, Jean?
Okay. Okay. Dr. Michael, I must
Yes.
wrap up. For me, it's midnight.
All right.
I have had early morning calls, and believe me, my day starts with Australia and Malaysia and ends up with California. So I need a little bit of time to go.
Then I will wrap you up. First thing, Dr. Hillary, as he's your guest, please just convey your thanks, and then we will let Her Excellency Victoria wrap up for us. Dr. Hillary, please.
Thank you, Dr. Oleg, for coming through. As usual, I mean, when you start talking, nobody wants you to go. So I'm not surprised that we everybody's. I mean, the conversation is very interactive. Thank you for your wealth of wisdom. You can't begin to imagine how much I benefit a lot. Every time you open your mouth to talk, I just steal from it. I just take from it. So thank you for this time. I want to also tell you that the class of SteelE will be inviting you more often to come and share more light on different topics because I know you have a whole lot of knowledge in there that you'll be sharing. So I want to tell you ahead of time that the class of SteelE will be inviting you. So please, anytime this such invitation comes in, please, I want you to acknowledge it. Thank you so much, Dr. Ole. God bless.
Thank you very much. And thanks, everyone.
Okay. Your Excellency Victoria, please do the honors and just confirm.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency Bishop Dr. Michael Steele, our amiable mentor in the class of SteelE. Your Excellency Dr. Oleg Konovalov, our special guest of honor today. Your Excellency Dr. Hilary Imo, the great man of God. Your Excellency Dr. Anita Davis Bevel, Your Royal Highnesses in the house, Your Excellency, the management team in the class of SteelE, all the excellencies in the house, all our wonderful invited guests today. Once again, we say good evening. Dr. Oleg Konovalov.
Thank you.
Wow. We celebrate your presentation. It is highly inspiring. The topic you treated on vision, highly captivating, informative, motivating, highly impactful. We have gained more knowledge tonight. We've always been told that knowledge is power. Sir, tonight, you have broadened our horizon. We have increased and we're so happy. We're excited.
Victoria,
we
thank
love
you.
and desire to have more of you in our midst. We are very grateful, sir.
Thank
we
you.
celebrate your presentation on behalf of the class of SteelE and our amiable mentor, Dr. Steele, and his wonderful wife, Jenny Steele. We say we are grateful. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Bless you. Bless you. Before I leave, I want to ask one simple question. It's not about diplomacy. It's not about being polite or, just like, come on, I came from the fishing industry background. I'm very good at using rough language, But what I want to ask you a simple question. How much have you grown over the last hour? In percentages, can you tell me?
I think I have done about 20%. I've done 20%.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
Just 1 hour.
Yes. I've done 20%. 20%. I can assure you.
I know.
As a matter of fact, before you go, Dr. Oleg, I'm going to confirm it for you, Dr. Oleg. Before you go, quickly, I'll tell you one thing. You made one point. Ego kills vision quickly. And I want to share a thought quickly with you before you go with all. I'm grateful for your time. But also, ego is necessary to break out of the box of the norms.
Yes.
Because it creates an environment whereby you have to rise above the accepted norms.
Yes.
So you need what you would consider as a bigger ego. However, ego does kill vision. The biggest challenge for us as we grow, allow me, the biggest challenge for us, I believe, is that we learn to strike the balance between ego that is competitive and ego that is progressive. I will leave you with that, sir.
Yeah.
Brilliant thought. Excellent thought. And as soon as you understand that at a certain point, ego is not drives you to say, I know this, that's it. You're in trouble. As soon as you're saying yourself, I must revise this, you will grow. Simple line. Thank you. Bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. God bless you. Let's give him a thank you from the class of SteelE. Come on.
Bye.
Thank you.
God
very
bless
much.
you, sir.
Thank you. I'm
Thank
sorry
you very
when
much. God bless
you asked, doctor, when you asked me to talk, I was driving, I was picking my son somewhere, but I was following the discussion. It was a big blessing for me to participate in this discussion. And God bless all of you. And I think that's the first time, but not will be not the last time. And next time I will take my time and then to discuss deeply.
Thank you so very much. Dr. Hillary, I want you to, now that we're in closing and wrapping up, just give us a little bit of background of what folks can expect. You're still live and we have our audience that are still listening. Give us a little bit of background on what we can expect from Dubai and what are your excitements? What is exciting you about this year's particular event that is happening in Dubai? And equally, individuals also want to know how can they go about doing their registrations, etc. Could you kindly give us a little bit more information, please, Dr. Hillary?
Okay, thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Steele. In terms of the registration, I want especially everybody at the class of SteelE to go through you, to do their registration. I'll be speaking to you on that aspect. So anybody that's going to be coming through the class of SteelE has to go through you. They have to, go through, process of registration through you. The annual business summit is going to be very, aside the seriousness, the business aspect, the networking, it's also going to be fun. We intend to do some sightseeing in Dubai, going to some, go to the safari, go to the museum. There's a lot of places in Dubai that you can go and see. And we'll be having some private meetings for our VVIPs. I will not want to say anything about that. I'll just leave that, on that level. We also are going to be having a D-room private meeting, private meetings where investment will be discussed. Investors will have some top investors, over 20 of the biggest billionaires in the world be present in the D-room private meetings. So we're going to have, if we have good investment that you feel what investing on, it's an opportunity for you to be in the D-room private meetings. You can check on the website for more information, or you can send me a private email, or also ask His Excellency Dr. Steele for more information on that. We also have partnership with about 4 universities. So we're going to be conferring the honorary doctorate degrees on some nominated individuals. I discussed that with His Excellency Dr. Steele already. We have the American Heritage University, Southern California. They'll be conferring honorary doctorate degrees on nominated individuals from the Leaders Without Borders Development Center. We have the IIC University of Cambodia, high-level university also. We also have other universities that will be in attendance. Like we say, the Leaders Without Borders Development Center is also about learning. It's also about learning, so we work with universities. We are going to have a lot of professors, at the event. Let me also bring you up to speed with expectations about the summit. Like I said, we're going to have panel section. Day 1, we'll have some panel sections. We'll have Dr. Oleg is one of our special guest speakers. He will be doing day 1 and day 2. We have another special guest speaker. We're going to have panel sections. We're going to have about 6 panel sections. So we're going to have 6 panel sections, meaning we'll have 6 topics that has to do with trade and investment, networking, cross-border alliances, a whole lot, So it's going to be it's going to be very, very exciting. It's going to be an opportunity for people who are looking to grow their businesses, who are looking to connect with global leaders, who are looking to connect with people who can fund their businesses also to attend. So that's basically it. You can go to the website www.lwbdevcenter.org. That's Leaders Without Borders Dev Center, lwbdevcenter.org. You go there, you get a whole lot of information, or you can send a private mail to the official email, info@ lwbdevcenter.org also. Or you can just, talk with His Excellency Dr. Steele in terms of participation. If you have interest in any of the things I've talked about, you can talk to Dr. Steele. He will pass the message across to us. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
All right, thank you so very much. Your Excellency, next week in the class of SteelE and in the coming weeks, we are going to be having some specially invited guests, and Leaders Without Borders Development Center will be supplying us with speakers that will be sharing with you periodically. Dr. Hillary is smiling because we got a whole lot of interesting things for the class of SteelE. Our new website is going to be out in the next week or so. So we were going to be having that updated with registrations and different things that you can do as you go forward. So get ready for the ride. We are on a good journey. Dr. Hillary, I am excited. And today was a wonderful day. I want to celebrate you. Come on, everybody. Dr. Hillary is not going to be a stranger to us any longer. He will be popping into the class of SteelE whenever he feels like. And sometimes he will not have his video on because of his schedule, or he might be in transit or in another on the way or in a meeting, but just wants to continue to keep check on us. So anytime you see him popping in, know that Uncle is at home and he's watching. So we have to be on our best behavior. So with that being said, Your Excellency, I am excited. You and I will continue to keep our conversation going. We're going to look forward to who is going to be our speaker for next week. We expect we have at least somebody next week that will be speaking one of the days. I see you on mute yourself. Go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead. Unmute. Yes.
Are you talking about having? Of course, no problem. There are tons of speakers. For next week Friday, I'll bring on somebody also very powerful, to speak at the class of SteelE. That's not a problem.
All right. So you choose your day and it belongs to you whenever that time comes. So without any further ado, I want to thank you all for being in the class of SteelE this evening. Thank you we've gone over a little bit of time, but it has been an absolute pleasure this evening. Big up Healing. Thank you so very much for being with us. And a lot of you are going to start seeing Big Up Healing Water and some more of our Indian chiefs that are going to be joining us in the class of SteelE a bit more. As a matter of fact, Big Up Healing and Emmanuel are very good colleagues as well, best friends. So I go Big Up.
And Dr. Steele, I'd like to say, I just noticed in the chat, you had sent me Jenny's information. I just noticed that, and I want to say I apologize because if I would have noticed that a while ago, I'd have been reached out. Yeah, I just, I'm not really computer savvy, so please work with me. Thank you.
We'll work with you. No worries. No worries, Chief. I see Enager Dapo that is there. Would you kindly greet us, Dapo? You're welcome. Vanessa, don't leave us. Don't leave us, Vanessa. Vanessa has gone and left us. Dapo, would you kindly greet us this evening? Okay. All right. If there are no
my friend, it's actually my friend, so I don't know why he's being shy. I don't know something.
He's being nervous to be speaking. That's all right. That's all right. That happens for the first time. I'll tell everybody. I see a Victor Odaya. Victor, I don't want to miss you. We are not sure who you are, but Victor, would you kindly greet us this evening? Victor Odaya.
Hello everyone. Yeah, my name is Victor. I actually joined from London. and I got an invitation from Pastor Tony Ueche, and yeah, it's been a wonderful time, and it's really it's kind of eye-opening to understand that you can also have knowledge in a different dimension, trying to understand things in a different way. I think I got something today to understand what a vision is in a different way, and to understand especially the part that it is universal and you must try to communicate it in a universal language. I think that is a really big one for me, especially as starting up something new. I already have a business, but I'm starting up a new business and I'm trying to build a team. So I think it was a good learning for me as well. Thank you very much, guys.
Well, if we in the class of SteelE or in Leaders Without Borders can be of any assistance, support, advice, or whatever to you, we would be definitely pleased to assist you. Just reach out to us, and however we can add value to that, we will be pleased to do so. Look at the class of SteelE as your resource center for business, corporate development, expansion, and growth, and also connections. So don't just look at us as a teaching class. There's a whole lot more that goes on behind closed doors than we discuss. You will see that there's a whole lot more to us than meets the eye. But you're very welcome to the class this evening. It's been a pleasure having you, and we look forward to more of you. And by the way, I'm also in London, so you're much closer to me than a whole lot of these folks who might have never gotten the chance to shake my hand. So who knows, maybe we'll have a cup of coffee or tea sometime one day.
Okay, that will be good. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, God bless you. Everybody that was with us, Jean, God bless you for being with us this evening. I appreciate you. And okay, my wife is giving me. Oh, I see Sister Valerie Arthur. Valerie Arthur, kindly greet us this evening. I don't want to go past without acknowledging you. Valerie, unmute yourself and just greet us, please.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Good
Thank
evening.
you so much for having me on today. Sorry, I had my camera off because the kids have been running around. It's half term.
Don't worry about it. My wife is in the same position. That's why her camera is off. You see Jeannie's still there, but our son is all over the place. So that's welcome. We're on lockdown. That's acceptable.
So today's session was really, really insightful. I do appreciate obviously being given the opportunity to join in today. Really grateful. Thank you so much.
Tell us who you are, Valerie. Don't just say it was an insightful session, but who are you and how can we connect and are you going to be with us or are you just passing through? Who invited you?
Reverend Anthony Ueche invited me to join in. Yeah, he did say I'd learned a lot by obviously interacting with all the leaders on here. And I can say for a fact from the few sessions I've joined in for, they've been amazing. I've really, really learned a lot. Seeing things from different perspectives to what I'm sort of used to, I'd say.
Well, thank you so very much for being with us this evening. And I see that His Excellency Barrister Ueche is very busy. Yeah, so come on, let's celebrate him. Come on, anybody that brings growth to the team needs to be celebrated. God bless you, Barrister Ueche. Flavia, good evening out of Uganda. How are you doing this evening, Flavia? And how was the session for you this evening?
Oh,
We can still hear you, Flavia. You disappeared, but we can still hear you.
you can see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be part of the session. It was really, really amazing. It really touched on the things I really love most, like the vision and the ego, how to separate the two, and how the other can affect the other. So I'm really, really grateful. The class was so amazing. And I love the turn up, really. We really had very many people on the forum. It was really amazing. And I'm proud to be part of this class. Thank you so much.
All right, Flavia. God bless you so much. Daniel, I just want you to greet us. Daniel, Papa Daniel, just greet us this evening. How was the class for you? And just share your thought.
Yeah. Good evening, our mentor, Reverend Dr. or Bishop Dr. Michael Steele, and everyone that is a part of this program. Obviously, it was an eye-opener, and I learned a lot personally about vision. Though the resource person is no longer there, I would have asked this question. If ego destroys vision, and if vision does not have gender and race and so on, I wanted to ask somebody who has a vision on women alone, for instance, is that not a gender vision? Somebody who has a vision on men, maybe married men alone, is that not gender vision? Well, I believe that if he were here, he would have tried to answer me. I strongly believe that ego destroys vision. But when we talk about ego, it also depends on where the person is taking it to. So I want to say that tonight's lecture was a very important one, and I gained a lot from it. Thank you very much. My name is Reverend Dr. Daniel Soporo. Good night.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Daniel. God bless you. We appreciate you so much. I want to ask our Chief of Protocol, His Excellency Donald Ewers, to just give his thoughts right before we close this evening. I'm getting ready to wrap up. Thank you so much for your patience. We're going to wrap up shortly.
A pleasant good evening, Your Excellent Dr. Michael Steele and all the dignitaries and ambassadors and well-wishers who came. But it was absolutely fantastic, very eye-opening, very refreshing, very different. And, you know, if I had a question, I was going to debating whether or not to ask, what's the difference between purpose and vision? And, you know, what is between the purpose and vision of your life? And we all have a purpose. We all have a vision. And I really wanted to define for me what's between the meaning of purpose and vision, if it aligns together, and is it a goal, or is it an inspiration or motivation to have that vision, the vision to accomplish. And I had an English friend, she's a pastor, an English lady. She had a vision to go and open an orphanage in India. And she went around to all the churches for support. And nobody wanted to know. And she I think she borrowed money. She borrowed a loan for her vision in India. She died not so long ago, and she built a beautiful orphan village school, actually, in India. And so she struggled, but she did accomplish. So sometimes when we have the vision and we have a purpose, that we have something, a determination in our heart to do that, you know, how do we balance the book? So that's what I was wanted to get a more defined way. When you're struggling with a vision, how do you go? I know all the formalities, you pray, you seek the Lord and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes we need that support, we need that help, we need that help, you know, to go across with the vision. So that's where I'm going. So it was really an eye-open for me, and to listen new ideas and skills and look at it in a different aspects and our ego. I like the part when you touch on ego. A lot of us have ego, and I think it's positive and negative ego. As Dr. Steele, you mentioned it is in some form of way. So that's my thoughts and my sentiments about tonight's class. And it was really a blessing, and it's really an eye-opener. God bless you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, for that contribution. And just a quick answer, purpose and vision. I just quickly jotted down a note. Purpose is to help the poor. If that's the purpose, that's why you're doing it, to help the poor. And vision is, how do you do it? So you have the purpose, what you're going to do, why you're doing it, but then the vision is kind of like looking at, how am I going to get there? How am I going to do it? How am I going to accomplish it? And vision is all about the ability to see the way to fulfilling your purpose. I think that's my take on it briefly, and I will be following up with messages. I've taken some copious notes as we were speaking of sessions that I will be bringing in the class of SteelE, and I know that Dr. Hillary equally will add value to some of those highlights that we've added. So with that being said, I want to close our class. Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on just something little, right? One of our speakers was talking about, one of our participants was talking about vision based on gender, women vision and male vision, right? And when we're formulating vision, usually these days, especially these days, I really can say that women are taking over the world, right? And I'm not taking it lightly, because when you look at most companies now, they're being led by women, right? Really, women are taking over. And there is one reason why these women are taking over. They have less ego. So when you see most of the visions formulated by women, they have this, what we call collaborative sense. So many women tend to be quite collaborative in forming their visions. They take into account the input of many and then describe the results as the group's vision rather than their own, right? And they don't see themselves particularly as visionary in a creative sense. You see what I'm saying? And so usually, really, according to me, women are coming up as leaders because of the collaborative nature. And men usually just bring up their visions, usually either by themselves or just one more person. And most their visions usually kind of off-hit the target. So women, for us men who are in leadership positions, the CEOs and all that stuff, we need to look at women. We need to respect them as well and bring them in the fold. They can help us grow. But if you want to really do a good vision statement, or you want to have a good vision for your company, you have to be collaborative. Don't be kind of a one-person kind of, business. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And with that being said and acknowledged, I hope you see that I operate with the First Lady. The First Lady is right behind the scenes, making sure that everything is done right, making sure I follow protocols and I behave in order. So all of us are looking at seeing how we can work together, both as a family unit and also as community individuals. All of us, from whatever background, whatever race, whatever sex, whatever color, we're all coming together to see how we can fulfill the mandate for the next generation. I want to close, but in closing, I want to do something very important in my role as a bishop, as a mentor, as a leader. I want to encourage all of us here this evening and within the sound of our voices and listening. It is important to look beyond the natural protocols that are laid out, that persons say, this makes you look good, or this makes you look professional, or this is what causes me to say I want to work or align with you. I want to speak briefly, and I want to applaud celebrate and lift up Leaders Without Borders and His Excellency Dr. Hilary Ema in his presence. Dr. Hilary, you didn't expect this, but I'm going to do this globally. I've been around many leaders around the world. And the interesting thing that I found about 90% of them is they have a status quo that they follow. The gauges that they use, some of them have become obsolete. Because a lot of times individuals have had companies for 10, 15, 20 years, but no substance. But then there are those that have just started. And then there's some visionary leaders that see and recognize the value that they can contribute in the long term. Are you seeing what I'm trying to say? Don't look at individuals or organizations through the eyes of where you are right now. I want us as leaders to start looking at organizations. Where can you be if I support you in 10 years? How much better can you be if I come alongside of you and help you to be all that you can be? Look for a teachable spirit. Look for a product that is packaged well and presentable. And please hear me. Sometimes you will give an opportunity to someone that the world overlooks, but that person can be the turnkey solution to the nation's problems. Dr. Hilary, I want to thank you on the behalf of Class of SteelE. We don't see ourselves as the greatest organization. We don't see ourselves as the biggest that there is, but we want to become. And I want to celebrate you and Leaders Without Borders for your vision and giving us this opportunity to partner with you. And I want to assure you as the leader for the Class of SteelE that we will not disappoint you. And if we do disappoint you, tell me early so that I can make sure we correct what we did in our ignorance or our oversight. Because we cannot be perfect in every way. There are times that I might disappoint you or you might disappoint us. But I want to assure you that this is not a short-term relationship. We're in this for the long haul. And we're not looking to the left or to the right or compromising our relationship. We are thanking you for this opportunity to build a legacy for the generations to come with Leaders Without Borders. And with that being said, I want to speak to my international community, my supporters, my partners, my secret watchers, those who watch me from behind the scenes for leadership, those who observe me and push me without anyone seeing you. I want to ask a favor of you, and I want to endorse the services. I want to endorse the methodology, the way of thinking of Leaders Without Borders Development Center. I want to lift up the person of Dr. Hilary Ema. He has shown me such great respect. He's a man of great humility. And I want to say, if you give him any opportunity on my behalf, you don't even have to ask my permission. Do it. And I will receive great pleasure and great joy in knowing that you have allowed little us, the Class of SteelE, from out of the little island of Barbados, to be having an opportunity to partner with them. Help us look good. Help us to shine by adding value to them and their partners and associates as we press forward together to make an impact in Africa, the Caribbean, and the nations. With that being said, I'm going to bless you, Your Excellency, Dr. Hilary Ema. The Class of SteelE, we lift you up in our prayers. We lift your team up for safety, for safe travels through immigrations and airports around the world. The presidents and kings will look and honor Leaders Without Borders as you succinctly guide them through the divides in signing deals, in building nations, and causing our nations to be safer, educated, and equipped to reach the 2030 agenda. God bless you, Dr. Hillary, and I hope you receive our love and know that we will never forsake you. And please, your turn. Tag you. Come on, let's celebrate him. Come on, let's celebrate him this evening.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you. God bless you. You're such a humble and very, 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 a man full of integrity, a man full of wisdom, and I have no doubt that your greatness is going to go from great to grace and to greater grace. So I want to thank you. I am very happy to be in the class of SteelE to contribute, to see how we can grow the platform, make it bigger. Like I said from day one, I feel at home when I'm here, so I don't have any problem. I don't feel any doubt in what you're doing, and I assure you that I will continue to do my best, to lift up the class of SteelE. So I thank you all. God bless you for having me today. I'll be signing off very soon because I have another meeting.
Don't worry, you're free to go, and we're all free to go. Good night and God bless. We're signing off. Good night and God bless everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.